Response video to the Modern Mystic. Did take notes. Yeah, let's get to the worst part. Let's get to the end first, then we'll go back to how, which, yeah, I also like. So I think that is useful and progress and all that kind of crap. And that how can be used as a medium to explain a lot of this. How in the sense of the output device that the programs, the lizard, the ape, and the human, these are programs. The H, the A, the L are the programs. And they are writing on HAL 2, which is the computer, the screen, the thing. The thing they're writing onto is consciousness. I don't have a problem with that. The scrolling thing I'm okay with. I'd rather maybe a fade, that stuff just fades. They type their crap, it goes on the screen, some of it fades, some of it stays on the screen. Kind of depends on how they type it. Like the lizard just keeps hitting the key, pain, 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 pain. And, it just keeps blipping on the screen, big letters blinking. It does that blinky text thing, really annoying, especially in the old days, right? Yeah, and so we have this screen, and we have a medium now that we can also have something different on. We can have words, and we can have video, and we can have different things, and we could just say that the video is the feeling thing, and we could say that the words are the thinky thing, or the whatever, the other abstraction of conscious phenomenon that relates to images in environments, the sounds, the feels, the textures, all this stuff goes into the HAL machine, HAL 2 or whatever. We got, yeah, I don't know how to differentiate between HAL the consciousness and HAL the programs. So I'll just say HAL programs, I guess, when I'm talking about the programs. Yeah, obviously. So this knowing, well, let me do the domino thing. Let me get that over with, and the pain thing. And you keep talking that like this is my blockage or this is my problem, and I don't think that's really a big problem. I mean, my strategy is to say what's in my brain, analyze it, and say why do I know what I know, and why do these other people think what they think? Yeah. Why do I think what I think? Why do they think what they think? And how do I get what I think into their thinking? Because I think I'm right, and I think they're wrong. So the obvious, logical thing to do is to take what I think and put it in their thinkers, and then problem is solved. That's how I'm looking at it. And yeah, my problem is that it's not how I feel about this situation, it's how I think about the situation. This is how you solve a problem. This is my Jack-in-the-Box does this thing, where, yeah, you have to solve this problem. There's a conflict. The conflict needs to be solved. There's no bigger problem in the world than the value thing. And I think it. I don't feel the concept that value is important. I know it. I think it. Logically, it's a thing that says, yeah, I can't find any way to get out of it. Now you find it difficult to find any reason to get into it. Okay, so that's where this is a weird conflict, because we're not trying to extract each other from something. We're trying to say, can't you see the door? It's right there. You just walk through it. So anyway, I mean, I can't see any other way. There's no other road except a road built out of value. There's nothing else to care about. I mean, the value equation's everything. And it's the only way to... I can't extract any other sense. If I understand a whip and a carrot, then I automatically have a value system. Even that crude one, my own sensibilities. And all I have to do is extend that with one stupid little thought that says, my interests are not the only interest. I'm like all the other pawns. It doesn't matter which pawn dies. If the pawn has to die, it just does the utilitarian thing, and then all of a sudden the game's on. The value game, where the interest has to be resolving these conflicts in perception, because it's critically important to the getting the carrots and avoiding the whips. as a species, as an entity. The only way you can avoid the whip. So why would I do it on a personal level if I don't think it applies to the mass level? How could I possibly get caught up in it in a personal level if I think it's irrelevant on a massive level? I mean, if I don't think it matters if 10 billion people die, why the fuck would I think it matters if I die? I mean, that doesn't make any logical sense. I mean, it just, the logic checker looks at that and just says, fuck, that's nonsense. It's completely idiotic. You can't say you're valuable. You can't find any value in taking another breath in your own existence if you don't see any point in the other people living. This doesn't make any sense. And vice versa for me. I understand I don't solve the problem of me existing if I keep letting me exist in all these other things. I mean, if there's other pawns going to take, if it's pawn is going to take my place on the board, what's the point of me jumping off the board? No point. All right. So anyway, all right. So that now the real practical matter of the domino problem, where you're saying that determinism somehow doesn't go with this idea of recognizing the existence of anything called value or suffering value or positive negative sensation meaning anything. Yeah, well, I'm going to argue that I don't think there's any difference there. I've used analogies like gravity or magnetism or some other force that maybe doesn't have a material reality. It only has a relationship reality, and it applies a confinement on the reality, but it's invisible. You can almost say that natural selection is a fact. I mean, it's a reality, but it's not made of any matter. It's a part of the way the structure of the matter is, that this is just part of the reality. Even though it's invisible, it's real. And I guess I'm going to argue that I think the intrinsic negative value exists as a phenomenon expressible in the universe. You can access it. It is a thing like a magnetism that if you do something a certain way, you will access this value dimension. And you access it through this HAL, this consciousness mechanism, is the way you access the value dimension. And yeah, and maybe the existence of that reality can only be written as a logical theorem, or maybe there's not going to be any way to show it happening on your palm of your hand, but maybe there will be. Maybe we will be able to like I said, maybe we'll figure out that the component is a spark. Maybe we can just say that every time electricity jumps a certain kind of chemical gap, it's an ouch. It's just a little tiny one. And that consciousness just amplifies ouch. It does ouch the way that's ouchy. Or maybe that the electricity gaps are okay. It's only a certain kind of gap. A little blue spark is the spark that does ouch. It's the ouch phenomenon. But yeah, I'm just pulling that out of my ass. I'm just saying that the mechanism could be built in to the universe. It's just part of one of the things. It's one of the properties of matter. And I think the proof is in the product, that we're expressing it, so it must be a property of matter because we're fucking expressing it. I don't think we have to go much further than that. And it seems like you're forcing it to meet a standard of materiality that I think is kind of unfair. But I think that's your blockage, if I can use the word back at you. So yeah, I mean, I guess we're going to keep haggling about that. I don't think that's the subject of this conversation. I'm just saying we both are sensitive to these words. So when you say something in one of your videos that's tending, I can see, to imply that somehow there's nothing, I'm going to try to say, wait a minute. Yeah, no, it's not nothing. There's a something here that I'm going to defend. And we're back to, like I said, the knowledge one. So let's start with that one. Because I'm going to agree with you, there's just doing. Okay, that's what we do. We're doers. Okay, we're do-bots. But the point is how do we do the do? And I said it in the last video, but yeah, I mean the do is built into the structure. So through experiences, the machinery that packs the rocket is changed. And it's changed in this progressive, ordered manner. Just like we learn your ABCs and multiplication. We learn, even the history of knowledge for the human race, right? You learn a little basic stuff, the world's round, you learn this, you learn how to melt some metals, you learn certain techniques, and those techniques are all things that enable you, that make you do differently. And the new do, converted to the old do, the new do is generally speaking, tends to be on some sort of efficiency curve of improvement. It's a better do, generally speaking. Yeah, it has side effects, but I'm just saying, generally speaking, for the little purpose, for the narrow purpose, it's a better do. It's a better glue. It's a better mousetrap. We're doing the better mousetrap thing. And that happens through a natural evolution where our knowledge base, our education that is making us pack rockets is been filtered and has gleaned from the world the innate logic that exists in it. And part of what I'm going to argue is that part of that innate logic is the fact of the stick-carrots phenomenon and the fact of value. Now, you can object to that being included as part of recognizing reality and applying the logic built into reality into our bomb making, our rocket making. But even if you exclude that and say all the parts that are related to that value equation are nonsense, there's still 50% of whatever we've gleaned that's still innately sophisticated and efficient. I mean, we can still, I mean, the word efficiency kind of loses its meaning if you take value out of the equation, but I suppose there's some way to say that the math would be more efficient if you go, 2 plus 2 equals 4 and don't go 2 plus 2 minus 2 plus 2 minus 2 equals 4. I mean, if you just get rid of those little minuses, then you can just do the 2 plus 2. Alright, so where else? Yeah, okay, so I think as long as we just recognize that when I say I'm not, I mean, I could go back to me brain, but that sounds kind of stupid. It's just a trick. My programs, I guess I sort of like, but this isn't going to work in real conversation, so I guess when I'm making a video, I'm, just talking, so I mean, it's, I'm using the same verbiage that I would use in other conversations, so it's just kind of frustrating to sit there and say, okay, remember to say my programming. Well, I'm going to end up doing that in regular conversation, and then people are going to be like, what the fuck? But all right, I'll concede the point that it literally is an error on my part. But, I just kind of wish you'd cut me some slack on that one. I mean, anytime I say I am likely talking about the programs. Or I'm talking about HAL, the consciousness. And I guess that's the confusion. So I'll just try to limit my I to only talking about the programs, the machine human, mostly. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll just try not to use the word. Okay. So yeah, it's all programs run in a machine. Okay, we agree on this kind of stuff. It's just what happens. See, that's the part that it doesn't just happen. I mean, I just see that as being grotesquely a grotesque oversimplification. It doesn't just happen. We are conformed. We are shaped. The programs are shaped, and they're not shaped chaotically, they're shaped circumstantially, and they're shaped over time in a direction. So I think that's got to be acknowledged, that it's not just nothing shaping, it's directional shaping, based on a knowledge base. And so the doing is going through the knowledge base. And I just want the knowledge base to get credit. I'm not saying you have to call it something that's actually doing something. It's just a program. But I'm just saying the programs are refined by the imposition of gleaned knowledge. Knowledge that's been accepted by the other brains and that we all, shove into each other's brains. And the knowledge seems of relevant value and meaning. It's a different world. If the world is flat or the world is round, it's two different worlds. It's good to make that distinction, and I don't see any problem in acknowledging that knowledge makes that possible. That we don't put flat Earth in our rockets. We don't misspell Tina Turner. That'd be stupid. Yeah. Alright, let's see if there's anything else I'm going to get to. Value for fuck's sake. Bridge too far. Yeah, well, I still, again, it's the only bridge worth crossing. So for me, the whole point of understanding our psychology and blueprinting our brain, diagramming our brain function and understanding that function and what's influencing us and how much of it's DNA and how much of it's culture and how much of it's emotional and DNA that are tied to whatever. To understand the whole, what it's doing and where it's heading, is all part of making my functional value argument. So that's why I'm in this game. I wouldn't have a horse in it otherwise. And I'm glad you seem to have a contrived horse, even though you don't, you have no horse in the race. You somehow are interested in the race somehow, which is good. It's valuable for the interaction thing and the thing that helps me get the feedback I need to know whether this is working or that's not working, so that's good. But yeah, I don't see any, it's the real purpose, is to use the knowledge gleaned through the conversation to make the bridge argument that will get people from where they are to where I think they should be. Yeah. Consciousness, just the tip of the iceberg, I wrote down. All of it. You keep talking about the all of it. I'm not denying the all of it. I'm just saying that there's, I make this point on the subconscious. I don't know where I wrote it, but somewhere in all this slop. So let's say the consciousness is the screen. That's the tip of it, right? The programs are doing the real work. They're writing on the screen. The reality's coming in, but reality without the interpretation doesn't mean much. We can certainly... No, we can't certainly do a damn thing. It's not doing anything until the human says, I see a car, I see a house, I see a driveway, I see rocks, I see blah, 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 blah. I hear. It's writing all this stuff. It's monitoring what it's seeing through the senses. And that's what it's doing. And then it's commentating. Lizard is fucking sticking a nail in the side of my head at the moment. It's been doing it for a whole week. Anyway. So yeah, I'm not, it's all, the entire thing is the illusionary computer screen, the what we could call the consciousness illusion. But you don't like the one hell of illusion, but whatever, it's one hell of an illusion. It's yeah. It's more of anything than everything else combined. You take the whole fucking universe and it means nothing compared to this consciousness. This is everything. That is nothing. This is the only dimension that matters, is this consciousness dimension. The material dimension is shit. That's a fucking image in front of my eyeballs. It's fucking pixels. It doesn't mean shit. That's shit. The only thing that matters is this thing inside my consciousness, the image of it. The projection, the computer screen, that's the whole fucking, that's the A dimension. And reality is the B dimension. Anyway, so anyway, back to the iceberg thing. Yeah, so consciousness is just a piece, a tiny piece of brain function. Most of brain function is subconsciously writing this script I'm just speaking. You know, the human is typing away this projection it's making. It's asking for the lizard's help and making my hands do something silly. You know, the vocal cords moving. And, well, the ape's not having much to do with this, right? He sort of sleeps through these videos. You know, they're kind of boring. There's nothing really for him to give a shit about. He's not going to get all excited or you know, he's not going to be able to eat while I'm talking, and he's not going to be able to have sex while I'm talking. He can't do anything while I'm talking. So, yeah, he's sort of out of the game. So it's just me and the lizard really playing this part of the game. Anyway, well, I guess it depends on who we give muscle memory to, whether we give muscle memory to the ape or the lizard. I tend to think we have to give it to the lizard, but that's just my first thought. So anyway, it's just so the consciousness is just the tip of the iceberg. The subconscious is doing all the work, and the subconscious is the machines, the programs, the human, the ape, and the lizard. They're the subconscious. They're not conscious. The only thing that's conscious is Hal, the machine, the consciousness, the screen, the projection, the place they output to, that we call consciousness. And yeah, it is a great irony. The whole Hal thing works out just so well as a metaphor. Yeah, just really good. Anyway, really hated that movie. You know, I mean, it really was a piece of crap for all the hype. My ape slept through it. The lizard almost slept. Yeah, the lizard slept through it. And I almost slept. Human programs. Okay, I said human program. Human programs almost got lost too. They couldn't even find anything to give a shit about. They just, whatever. You know, they just couldn't care less. Well, they know what they did, actually. They sat through the whole movie and they just kept saying, this is a stupid movie. That's a dumb plot twist. Why do I want to spend a half an hour watching a coffee cup float in space? Yeah, I don't want to do that. The programs are logicking. Yeah, so I just want to keep pushing that. My human machine programs are doing logic. That's what they do. That's the function of them, is to model the outside world, put it onto the screen. They have it in their own reservoir, right? It's not in the screen, it's really in their reservoir. So they have a copy of reality in their brain, in the memory, and they just do this thing. They always keep checking what they're seeing on the screen and checking it to this reality model and saying, does that fit into reality? Does that make sense with our reality? Or is that a notion we've accepted? That's all they keep doing. But it's built into them, so you can mock it like like it's all the same, like all behavior is the same. And it's not. Some behavior is logic motivated, human programming. Some behavior is ape programming, and some behavior is lizard programming. And I don't see any problem with saying that it's better to be logical than emotional. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that logic is refined by information. So the more information that comes into the human programs, the more facts, big letters, the more capable that knowledge base is of producing sensible output to the screen, to the consciousness, and out to the world through the output device lizard thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's another part I guess we have to work out, is just who controls the output device. Because obviously the lizard doesn't do these responses. I mean, but they happen through the lizard, through the mechanical, functional part. So, I mean, somehow the human can order the lizard, and he can order the ape. And the ape, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say the ape can tell the lizard what to do, and the human can tell the ape and the lizard what to do. Can override them, can manipulate them, can play with them. In without going through this consciousness screen. I mean, we're not conscious of these muscle memory stuff. So there is maybe just a bottom part of the screen or whatever, that they can push stuff through that isn't going to be conscious. There is another bit of control mechanism, but it's not really important to I mean, I don't want to break the model just to include that, but we have to recognize that, yeah, we have to still acknowledge that there's the other mechanism that's going on is the controlling, like where I look, what I focus on. These pieces that we do control, those control features are subconscious. They don't go through the conscious medium, but they do require cooperation between our orders between, our control between human, ape, and lizard. All right. So anyway, enough of a video. So anyway, I don't, like I said, I don't know exactly, I'm always a little uncomfortable because I don't know exactly, well, am I going to piss Nick off? Am I going to say, am I going to destroy the conversation because I said this or because I did, you do have me a little paranoid, which is a little bit uncomfortable. It's like none of us, it's like we haven't paid for a season ticket or something, so I can't be sure you're going to show up. Because you got nothing in this fight, and nothing invested, and I hate change, and I hate transitions, and I hate being left at the altar kind of feelings. So I'm a little paranoid, but that's okay. That's my problem, right? Yeah, it's not. That's my problem. So I accept that. But you do have me sometimes a little unsettled and nervous because you just, I mean, I just can't see the game the way you're seeing it. I can't see it as a game we're going to describe that doesn't include the feeling thing, the pain thing, as a real player in the function of the whole HAL box. It's a real player, in my opinion. As at minimum, it's a type of media. It's a type of media that goes into this conscious thing, and it certainly has relevance in the conscious thing. And the real problem argument I have is making the argument to something that doesn't know what a consciousness is. That's the theoretical argument. But I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be that hard to convince most people that it matters, whether... I mean, most people think it matters whether it's sunny or rainy because it's going to make them feel good or bad. So, I mean, most people get the feel good, feel bad thing. So, I just don't think that's going to be a huge problem from my perspective. I understand you see it as a fake argument or something, and I'd like to convince you that it's not a fake argument, but that I don't have to do tomorrow. I mean, the thing I got to get done now is to get people to understand how their brain is gaming them, and them, yeah, their consciousness, how they're being manipulated by the interaction of the lizard, the ape, and the human, and what the flaws are in the programming of the human, the ape, and the lizard. Because I have to get new programming into those things. I have to get the bad programming out before I can put the new programming in, the good programming, the rational, the logical programming, the programming that will make them do in a manner constructive to what I see as the only rational value, purpose. So, yeah, well, there's probably a better way to say that, but there's always a better way to say things, right? All right, so that's enough. So until next time, hopefully. Yeah, sorry about your long upload time. You know, that's really sucks. You know, yeah. I mean, my videos I make pretty poor quality, so I get away with like a 200 megabyte video, and yeah, I think it only takes, you know, they're usually less, just over 100. You know, and then that only takes, you know, if I upload directly, you know, it's whatever, 15 minutes. So, yeah, 6 hours is a long time. So I have a new gratitude for you continuing the conversation, because I really didn't realize it was that big a hassle. So I appreciate it. That's all I can say. Not that that means anything, right? But yeah, my box says, say thank you, because that's, you know, a nice thing, and you should say thank you. But now we'll just say all these words. Nice is a stupid word now. I mean, if we're going to kill value, then all these other words could lose all their meaning. But anyway, I'm not, you know, I know I'm serious here. I'm saying thank you, and I'm being a little bit patronizing and insulting in the very thing when I'm saying thank you. So I'm just turning the thank you into shit. But I do appreciate it. So there, I'll just stop there. I do. Me Brain, one of the programs says, this is a thing to appreciate, so say the word appreciate. Okay, there, I've satisfied my function. That's the real problem, too, in having conversation. As soon as you start talking about me brain, you know, it just does, it does make it really hard to construct words anymore, because all the words don't make any sense in brain talk. But anyway, till next time.